Hello again, welcome back to LilyLuLou. My name's Karen. If you haven't been here before, I'm the Junk Journal Geek, and a very warm welcome to you. If you're a returning visitor, thank you so much for coming back again and joining me today. I appreciate your company. So as you can see, I'm carrying on with my sewing journal. If this is your first time visiting, this is a design team project for Sannie Creates. I'm using her beautiful, so beautiful DigiKit, and there is a discount code for 20% off of this kit until the end of February. That's the 28th of February. I will leave all that information in the description box for you so that you can go and take a look for yourself, but the code is Karen20. So now that I've got my pages roughly together, I've got an idea of how thick this journal is going to be. So I thought I would get on with the cover today. Excuse me reaching across. I've got my cover pieces set to one side over here. Yeah, so now that I know roughly how big the journal is going to be, obviously I want to leave a little bit of wiggle room for the journal to expand, but I can see that I'm not going to need as much of this as an overlap. I would guess I can probably cut that part off. No, maybe not, maybe half of that. Right, let's just hope we want it to come a little bit over there. Yeah, so maybe where this fold is, maybe half of that can come off. And height-wise, I reckon height-wise is pretty much okay. I hope I'm in frame. I haven't got my reference point that I usually have. So yeah, so I'm just going to trim this section off and just try and make sure that the thing is fairly square. I'm not bothered if it's not, you know, 100% accurate, but just get it roughly in the ballpark. So I'll be back in a second. Okay, so that's all done. So I think this is just about right now. I've got my little overlap there so that I can hook this closed with whatever closure I decide to use. Now, if you have been here before, you'll know that my idea was to cover this inside cover with the pattern paper, and then I'm going to cover the outside with this fabric, and then it will all be stitched around. So I'm going to try, first of all, using glue stick to stick the tissue to this piece. I'm not sure if it's going to work or not because this is shiny. If it doesn't work, then I'll try PVA and see how that goes. But I really only need it to hold in place until I've stitched it. Although I don't really want it lifting when the book's in use, because it might get damaged then. Let's just have a try and let's see how we go. And also this is coming apart, so I really need to give that a little bit of attention as well. So because this is packaging, it's all coated, so I'm quite prepared for things not to stick 100%. As I say, I am intending to stitch all around this, so it might be that as well as stitching, oh, I've got glue all over me, as well as stitching, this side's not too bad, as well as stitching the edges, you know, I might actually go up and down in the middle here and there as well, just to keep everything in place, but we'll see how we get on. So I haven't got a glue page big enough to protect this. Let's put that glue mat there. And I know it's not all going to fit on camera. Sorry about that. Haven't got big enough space. Let's put a bit under there, and we'll just have to do a bit of slipping and sliding along as we go. So how is everybody today? I hope you're all well and happy. It's not raining here, but it's very grey and it's quite chilly. I don't know how chilly it is outside. I haven't been out yet, but I'm filming this first thing in the morning because whenever usually I sort of get all my jobs done first and then I come and film, but it seems that's the time when my daughters want to phone me and I always get interrupted, which is lovely. I love hearing from them, but then, you know, it means I can't always get the video finished that day and uploaded. So I thought the last couple of times I thought I'll come and do my video first thing in the morning and then I'll go and do all my jobs once I've got my video done. I'm not sure how much of this you can see, but I'm literally just trying to cover the whole thing with glue stick. It's nothing very exciting at the moment. So yeah, it's first thing in the morning, so I haven't been out anywhere yet. I haven't even been out in the garden. So I don't know what the temperature's like outside, and I haven't looked at my app to see what the temperature's like outside, but I'm quite chilly. So now I'm just going to see if I have another piece of this tissue, which I should do, but whether it's to hand or not, I don't know. Just because the piece I have here ready to stick down has a little hole in it, you know, where, you know, it's for marking and things, and I think whichever way I go, that hole will be included. So I was just going to see if I had another piece. I'd got that piece out ready to go, and I don't know where I've put the rest of it now. Oh dear, just bear with me a moment. Right, I'm back again. This was literally right in front of me, but when I've come back to start filming again, my camera settings looked like it was on camera rather than video, so if this is rather disjointed, I apologise. But if I did miss the last bit, I've literally just covered this in glue stick, and now I'm looking for a nice piece of pattern paper to stick on, because the pattern piece that I had out ready has a hole in it, and it is supposed to have a hole in it. It's part of the pattern marking thing, but I'm looking for a piece that doesn't have a hole in it to line my cover. So these are rather unruly. I've got this piece here, so you see that other piece I'd already cut down. I'm just going to lay this on and then try to get it nice and flattish. As like with the envelope, when we covered the envelope, I'm not bothered about it being totally smooth, but I don't want it really, really, really wrinkled. So, and I'm just going to lay this down, get it on, and then I will cut the excess off, because I wasn't organised and I should have found a different piece and cut it down before I started, but you know what I'm like. Now that does seem to be sticking well, so that's good. I wasn't sure if the glue stick would adhere it to this shiny paper, but that looks like that's gone down quite well. And as I say, I'm not bothered about these crinkly bits. It's all going to add to the character, so I'm quite happy with that. So let's just cut some of this excess off, and I'm going to use, when I cover the rest of the envelopes that I've popped in each signature, I'll be covering those with more pattern paper. The ones that had labels on that I mentioned, I wanted to cover with, you know, the instruction sheet, but I've used all that as pages, so I'll have to have a rethink about that, because obviously if I just put the pattern paper, the tissue over, you're going to be able to see the label through it, so they'll have to be decorated further to hide that. So that doesn't look too bad, does it? Let's get these out of the way so you can see what you're looking at. Am I in frame? So yeah, I quite like that. So that's that side done. So my next job now is to go and stitch the fabric to the other side. So I'm hoping, because I cut this slightly, I'm hoping my fabric will be wide enough now. Just, I think. And again, I'm going to stitch my fabric on and then trim it with pinking shears afterwards, so that we have, you know, a nice-ish edge. So I'll go and do that now. I'm not going to do it straight away. I'm going to leave this glue to dry a little bit longer before I put it under my machine, just to make sure we don't have any issues. I'm being very naughty. I'm using my paper scissors to cut this fabric, but my fabric scissors are downstairs with my sewing box and my sewing machine, and I'm up here. So this is how it's looking. That's going to be the outside, and this is the inside. And if you remember, I said that the whole book I was hoping to get the feel of, you know, when these when you pick up these pattern envelopes and they have all this tissue in, that nice soft squidgy feel. I want the whole book to feel like that, and it looks like it's working at the moment, so I'm quite happy. So I'll just leave you again for a moment while I nip off and do this, and maybe have a quick cup of coffee, and then I'll be back. Okay, I'm back again. So I've attached the inside, as you've seen, and then what I did, I glued this fabric with fabric glue to the other side of the bag, left it to dry, and then I've stitched around it. And I'm not 100% happy because this fabric has stretched as I'm working with it, and it didn't feel, this is upholstery fabric, and it didn't feel like it had any stretch in it, but clearly it has. I've got sort of wavy lines here and there, and a bit of puckering around the edges, which I don't mind too much because it sort of gives that a bit of a quilted look sometimes, but it's quite bad down here. So I'm hoping that once I've decorated and everything, it won't be too noticeable and it'll be okay. But we shall see. I need to retrim this edge because obviously that's going to be the bit that's coming over, and it's not particularly straight, so I need to give that a little bit of attention. But yeah, it feels nice, which is good. It's just a shame about that stretch, but there you go. That's one of those things. So once the book is in, this is how it's going to look. And it does feel nice. It does feel scrummy, which is what I wanted. So that's good. Now I need to decide, I've got to finish off those envelopes before I can stitch signatures in. And I also did need to decide what sort of thing I'm going to be putting on the cover, which I haven't really thought about yet. But I'm just wondering if there's anything in the kit that I haven't used yet that might be suitable to go on the cover. So these are the pages that printed rubbish, so won't be using those. But something, you know, perhaps like that, or even that. Probably not a postcard. Just, you're getting another quick look through the kit while I'm having a look here. I've got some tabs here that I want to cut out and pop on the pages as well. And then these are all my mistakes, my printing mishaps, the rest of them. Yeah, there's no more, nothing more there. So I think I may use one of these on the cover. Let's just roughly cut them out and have a look and see what we think will go best. Not that one, I don't think. So let's pop the book back in again, so we've got an idea of size and things. And that, obviously it's going to be partially hidden when it's closed, unless I have it right over to the side. But that's all right, it looks like it's tucked in. The only thing I need to bear in mind is how I'm going to close this and what I'm going to use. If I do my original thought of having a button on here with ribbon on it, and the ribbon wraps around and then loops around the ribbon, that will be fine. But if I want something that attaches from here to here, then it will be a bit more tricky. So we've got that one that could go on there, and I think these colours work with the cover. Or this one. This one's nice because it's got the title on it. Not so sure about the colours on that one. So, and obviously we'd want to have, you know, we'll be zhuzhing it up a bit. It won't just be that. We might have some lace behind it perhaps. These things keep falling down on me. All those the leftover strips that I used when I was making the tabs, they're all trying to get in on the action. Let's just get this down to a smaller size and have a look. Let's cut round the shape and see. Oh, it must have, the temperature must have dropped because the heating's come on, but the sun's out now. I can feel the radiator under my desk, but the sun's shining outside now, so it's probably warmer in here anyway. but the thermostat's downstairs, so it must have, the temperature must have dropped down there. Which way? Let's pop that there. Right, let's get an idea of what this would look like. So we could have that, or that. And what else might we have on here? I need to find, if I'm going to use a button, I need to find a button that's going to go with whatever we're working with. So that's probably too green. See, originally I was thinking of having that pink sari silk as a closure, but I think it's going to be too pink with this fabric. So this is what I need to decide. I need to decide on, I don't think any of these are going to be long enough. I don't know whether to decide on the decoration and then find, you know, the closure and bits that will work with it, or to decide on the closure and bits and then decorate it according to that. See, that, it's got to be enough though to go round and round a button. So like if that was sewn, obviously the colours are not right together necessarily, but if that was sewn under there, my idea is then that that could wrap round and then wrap around the button in theory. So that's about the right length, but there's not much else of that colour other than a little bit, you know, here on the cover. That's not long enough, so maybe I need to go away and play around with all this and decide what I'm going to do. See, that's a bit of a darker pink than the one I had out originally. That pink is in there. Right, I'm going to leave it there for today. And I'm going to play around with all these different ideas of what I'm going to do and look at buttons and things. And yeah, I'll come back another day and show you what I've decided to do. So thank you for joining me today. I hope you found that interesting. Let me know what you think. If you have an opinion on covers and closures and buttons and ribbons. I mean, I've got hundreds of buttons. I'm going to have to look through them all. I've got 2 boxes over there, and I've got 4 of these little jars in front of me. So I've got plenty of buttons. I'm sure I'll be able to find something that will work with whatever closure and decoration I decide to go with. So let me know if you have an opinion, what colours you'd use. And I'll be back again hopefully in a couple of days, and I'll show you what I've done. So take care. Thank you for joining me today. Enjoy your own crafty time and stay safe. Bye bye.